God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Yeah. All right, let's go now. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
All right, how are we all doing? Did I turn my gizmo off? Let us see. Nope. Oh, it was Mike for a change. How do you like that? That doesn't happen very often. All right, so welcome one and all. I think we're all friends. Let's see. Hi there, I'm Reverend Mike. I'm the senior minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living, where we welcome all who practice their beliefs in faith and love. Happy Independence Day to all tomorrow. And happy Independence Day weekend. I'd like to say hello and give a shout out to everyone who's online. Everybody say hi. And hi. And then let's just check in with each other. Say good morning. Get underway.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I feel like we should do a big wahoo. 1, 2, 3. Wahoo! There we go. Yeah, it's our new chant here at the Center for Spiritual Living, where we promote wahoo living. So please help me welcome the Queen of Wahoo, Reverend Nancy Woods, our assistant minister. All right. As we batten down the hatches in the back there. Are you having a Shakti moment there, Mrs.? All right, so let's take a deep breath together. Release. Allow ourselves to surrender to this eternal now moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this morning. So as Reverend Nancy lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. The fourth candle we light for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. The fifth candle we light for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. The eighth candle we light for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. The ninth candle we light for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here at our center. And as Reverend Nancy lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
In this moment, in this place, I remember I am letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and I see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Such beautiful love that is in this center today. Recognizing that this love is the presence of Spirit itself flowing forth through each one of us. Understanding that this spiritual presence of life is the essence of everything. It's what brings joy to my heart today. As I realize and understand that the wonder of life, the beauty of life, is originating from within, I understand and appreciate that that divine wisdom of life is present in me also. And as I allow myself to open up and to express, to allow the things that are coming forth to be that which comes from that wisdom, that spiritual presence, I know the whatever needs to be expressed is expressed. Whatever is needed to be experienced is experienced. What is understood today is that we have that choice of knowing that that spiritual presence that has brought us into this experience, this hour that we are sharing right here, right now. And we are sharing that awareness that we are here to open our hearts and our minds to step into a greater expression of the truth of life itself. That we are open and receptive to being all that we are choosing to be, and knowing that everything that happens, the words, the songs, the message, everything that is shared and given forth enriches that and blesses that. And it does so because the law of the universe says yes to the word that we are placing in it. So we place this word in it right here, right now, understanding and appreciating that the fruits of it is already ours. So it's in the consciousness of gratitude and embracing the wonder of the law and the life itself that we have this experience in the next hour together. So it's with great joy we unite in appreciating and accepting it as we say together, so it is. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is a good morning for me. I have to share this. I went dancing last night. And I was dancing for about 2 or 3 hours, and it was so much fun. But that isn't what I was sure, but I had to tell you that. I've come a long way, huh? So, when I finished nursing school, then quite a few years ago, we had a graduation, and we had a picture that we put a quote, and under my picture, I put "to be or not to be," and I'm trying to. I don't know where my mind was at 21, but when I read the introduction to the daily word from Ernest Holmes for July, that quote was there again. And I read the whole thing. And all of a sudden I realized, oh, I get this. I said, I wonder if I had any inkling at 21 what it meant. Because today I realized that what he was trying to tell us is that we have the ability, we have this thing within us, this awareness within us that we have access to bring forth life according to what our consciousness that we are inviting and embracing. That we have within us the ability to shift any experience. If it's not going in the direction that we want it, we can shift it because it is a result of the awareness that is in us. And it also brought to my mind, oh, now I understand what those teachers were telling me when they said life isn't an illusion. I always objected to that. But all of a sudden I understand that it is the result of my thinking and my understanding what I'm experiencing out here. So if I don't necessarily care to continue what I'm experiencing out here, I can shift my inner. So that which was no longer will be, but that which my desire is will now come into expression. Oh, that is, do you realize that that's the true freedom of being? I mean, on this day we talk about independence and freedom. That's real freedom. Is to know and understand that this life and my relationships, my activity, whatever I am sharing out here in this world is a reflection of my inner belief and understanding of life. And I can change it according to which I want to. And I don't see it as something that is magical. I see it as a shift in awareness. And as I shift my awareness, my life begins to shift. And that's moment by moment. So it allows me not to get upset with whatever's going on, but to embrace life and let it be. That is true freedom. And I feel like my peace and my freedom that I am experiencing today is a result of that awareness. And I'm very grateful to know this. and grateful to you for allowing me to share it. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Happy 4th of July weekend. Hope you have a safe and happy 4th of July. Don't set anything on fire. No? No. Yeah. Please welcome Miss Terry Page on background vocals and percussion over here. Kale on percussion in the front here, all right. There it is. Kent on bass, all right, Kent. David Olivas on keys and sax. And for 2 weeks in a row, I've called Brenda at the very last minute, and so I just want to say thank you very much for coming at the last minute and doing a great job.
You haven't heard it yet. Actually, Ken, I was at work, and about 6 o'clock, I got this email from Ken. Can you come sing the song? Reverend Mike wants to know if, wants to have this done. And I'm like, I don't know this song. So I went and listened to it, and I thought, no. No, I listened to it some more. I thought, okay, I think I can pull this off. It's a Patti Smith song, and one I had never heard before. And it's a great, great song about how we, as a people, when we come together, we have the power to change anything. And it's just a matter of us coming together and having that one mind to make that change so we can have that power. And this is called People Have the Power.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I was dreaming, in my dreaming, of an aspect bright and fair. And my sleeping, it was broken, but my dream, it lingered there. In the form of shining valleys, where the pure air recognized. And my senses newly opened, I awakened to the cry that the people have the power to redeem the work of fools upon the meek. The graces shower, it's the creed. The people rule. If you know it, sing it. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. Visual aspects become suspect and bending low as if to hear. And the armies ceased advancing because the people had their ear. And the shepherds and the soldiers, as they lay among the stars, exchanging visions and laying arms to waste in the dust, in the form of shining valleys where the pure air recognized. And my senses newly opened, I awaken to this cry. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. Where there were deserts, I saw fountains, and like cream, the water rise. And we strolled there together, with none to laugh or criticize. And the leopard and the lamb lay together, truly bound. I was hoping, in my hoping, to recall what I found. I was dreaming, in my dreaming, God knows a purer view As I lay down to my sleeping, I commit my dream to you. The people have the power. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. The power to dream, to rule, to wrestle this world from fools. It's the creed, the people rule. It's the creed, the people rule. Listen, I believe everything we dream can come to pass through our union. We can turn the world around. We can turn the earth's revolution. We have the power. We have the power. People have the power. Stand up. People have the power. Yeah, people have the power. People have the power. Whoa, people have the power. 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 All right. Surprise. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brenda, very much. Great job.
Fantastic job. And very affirming of the truth. Hello, everybody. Happy 4th of July weekend. Safe and wonderful 4th of July to all of you. I think I have some announcements here. Yes, they're also found in your program. There's a sheet in your program that highlights all of the announcements, but I'm going to let you know of some that are coming up very immediately, like today, for example, is the Abraham Hicks group at 4 o'clock. And that's been canceled. I was just going to say that. Thank you. The Wednesday morning Sangha class is also on break for the summer, so don't come for that. Friday, July 22nd, is another wonderful Kirtan concert. I think the first one, which I missed, unfortunately, was so wonderfully well received, Ken, that another one has been scheduled for Friday, July 22nd, so mark your calendars for that. The biggest announcement that I want to make for today is that it's really good news. The Discovery class is going to be offered again on Sunday, July 31st at 1 p.m. The Discovery class is an invitation to you to come and learn more about this teaching and this center. And it is a requirement for membership. We have named July Membership Month in anticipation that so many people want to sign up for membership and will have the opportunity to attend the class at the end of the month. So if you've been curious about membership, if you've been coming to this center for a while now but haven't yet stepped into membership, if you have questions about membership, I will be in the foyer immediately after service. There's a membership table set up there, and I will answer any questions that you might have about membership, and we'd really love to see you participate in the center in that way. And there's a lot, I'm going to say this. People want to ask the question, what will I get out of membership? And I can tell you what you will get. But I will also invite you to consider the question, what are the time and the talents that you want to bring to the center as a member? Because we welcome those with open arms. So please, if you have any questions about membership, if you're just dying to sign up, come see me at the end of service out in the foyer. And happy 4th of July to everybody. 1 second, I'm sorry, I have another, yes? Oh, Wednesday from 10 to 11, there will be Tai Chi classes facilitated by Nancy. So wonderful. Thank you. I missed that. Thank you so much.
Now, would you stand and say the Declaration of Principles with me?
Yes.
Okay. We believe in one universal spirit manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe that the universal spirit is personal to and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe that our faith operates upon a law of mind, which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life and in the immortality of the individual soul, forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the goodness of life to all.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So, let me turn myself on here. All right. Turn on, drop out. Yeah. So, so this is membership month. So you're going to be hearing about this. But please, if you have the time today, to stop in and see Andrea, and we'll get you squared away. And then, as she mentioned, there is a discovery class. So, you know, even if you've been around here for a while, you might want to check out the discovery class to if you don't really know how things work around here, this is where you kind of get an overview of how that happens. So, and I want to thank the band one more time. Nice job on that song, Brenda. We were talking earlier about how I first became aware of this song watching Patti Smith perform this when she was being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And, her voice was kind of shot. I don't know if she'd been touring or if she had voice issues or whatever. But the passion that she brought to the song would put any Bernie supporter to shame. Yeah, so it's really kind of a patriotic anthem for the global community, I think, but certainly for those of us here in the U.S. So happy Independence Day, happy Independence Day weekend to you all. And it's really nice for you all to join us at church on your long holiday weekend, because it is a lot more fun when you're here, and when you're not here, you're missed. So it's great to see you out there today. And today being the first day in July, we have a new focus within the global vision, this offered from Centers for Spiritual Living Worldwide. And that global vision for July is loving kindness and forgiveness. Loving kindness and forgiveness. And as you can see, I have tweaked the holiday a little bit and called it Happy Interdependence Day, which we're going to explore a little bit here today. Before we get into all that, I'd just like to start by bringing your attention to yet another of our core principles in Centers for Spiritual Living, that we see a worldwide culture in which forgiveness, whether for errors, injustices, or debts, is the norm. We see a worldwide culture in which forgiveness is the norm. Now, these have come forth out of the practitioner and minister core of Centers for Spiritual Living, and this is what has emerged for this month, which I think is a phenomenal undertaking and a phenomenal commitment by our organization. So, speaking to that, Reverend Penny Masick out of New Vision Center out in Arizona, Phoenix, I believe, says this, that once we become unfettered from negativity, we are free to walk a gentle path with ourselves and others, recognizing that in truth there is nothing to forgive. Once we become unfettered from negativity, we are free to walk a gentle path with ourselves and others, recognizing that in truth there is nothing to forgive. Now, that can take a lot of deep contemplation to get there. And it's possible. And I know that this may sound like a very Pollyanna way to think or to be in the world, given the current conditions that have been swirling around this week. In fact, one could argue that it's been swirling around for this new century, yes? Since the start of this 21st century, it's been kind of crazy. So globally, this week, of course, the continuing fallout from the Brexit vote, as the British people and now the world economies try to sort out what's going to happen next. One thing we know for sure is that it's going to be a different Europe moving forward. That we've had yet another bombing, this time in the Istanbul airport, shootings in Bangladesh, adding fuel to the anti-Islamic rhetoric already going on in Europe and in North America. And finally, one of the presumptive nominees for president met with leaders of evangelical churches this week in New York, church groups looking for reassurances of religious freedom, including the freedom of religious leaders to speak openly about politics in church, which is a clear violation of federal law and against Article 2 in the Constitution. Now, all of these issues have at their root deep-seated fears which morph into strategies that divide people rather than bringing them together. And if there is anything that the world needs more of, is a sense of communion, of common union, rather than a further deterioration into self-focused, myopic, isolationist policies that divide rather than unify nations and the world community. All the while knowing that unity is not uniformity, that in our diversity is our strength and our unity. One human family on one planet. You would think this would be really easy to get, and yet here we are, the 21st century. So all the while knowing that unity is not uniformity. I mean, after all, who wants to go to France and see Orange County? I know I don't. It's bad enough going to Seattle and seeing Orange County up there. So there appears to be a contagion of fear taking over the hearts and minds of people all over the planet. What was once a purview of the Middle East or Northern Ireland appears to be a movement of people who are understandably angry, yes, but is it rational? Is it rational to make broad statements about undocumented peoples, around job creation, around bemoaning the saving rates of the industrialized world, healthcare costs and the like, when people speak from the fear in their heart, rather than working consciously and rationally to find lasting solutions? This is not helpful. It may be natural. Fear is, after all, first. But it's not helpful. And that this fear in the heart creates a hard shell of contempt prior to investigation, where our unexamined perceptions, prejudices, resentments fuel deeper animosities, and when left unchecked, can erupt into rash actions by individuals, localities, or even into global mob movements. Fear is a powerful force. I get that. Fear is a powerful force, and in this modern economy can really push things around. But fear is often not founded in reality. So even the 1929 stock market crash that people point to when they really want to fuel up fears, it is now postulated that it was set in motion by a fear of speculation rather than the speculation itself, that there were sound business fundamentals in place. But it doesn't matter, because we see once again in Britain what happens when fear rather than rational thinking grips the marketplace, or even the national psyche. Now, this is not to say that there are not histories driving the contagion of fear. That Europe has a violent history going back to the fall of the Romans, to the modern era with 2 world wars, and the Nazis who then systematically exterminated 6 million Jews, homosexuals, communists, and other undesirables. So I get that. And even in our own modern era, where 911 has driven its own global demons into the forefront, where we find in this modern era, in this 21st century, that we can still be driven by the most basic of human fears, which is they're out to get us. And we make all kinds of foolish pronouncements and actions around they're out to get us. So it's important that we remember this Independence Day, that it is 2016, and it's time to move beyond our history. I would even say to move beyond our hysteria and beyond our stories, to look beyond what currently is, to create a field for the world yet to be to emerge. And this means that people must start thinking about it. People must start knowing the truth for a different way to be. That the time is right now for a spiritual renewal, by however means you get there. A spiritual renewal. Knowing that there is something else at work here that's longing to be called forth. Not by them out there, but by each global citizen within our own hearts, within our own minds, practicing the purported religions that these various cultures claim to embrace, and starting with our own. For when you think about it, and when you think on it for just a moment, it is not just about countries and national interests. It is also about the cultural and faith systems that drive our societies to begin with. That it is time that the global community have a deeper conversation where a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. This is right out of our Declaration of Independence. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind that requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We need to bring some awareness to our yakking. We need to bring some awareness and see what's the difference between fear and fact. If faith systems are a reflection of the collective majority of a given region, then it's time for people to wake up and cast off tenets that have us versus them, saved versus unsaved, faithful versus infidel, angels versus devils, Democrat versus Republican from their practices. Instead, get back to basics. Religions need to reframe these systems to that which is hateful unto you, do not do to your neighbor. Let's start there. Or we can even go back 500 years before that. 500 years to Confucius. Do not do to others what you would not want done to yourself. This is not complicated. Right? But as human beings, of course, we can hang all kinds of stuff on these things. So this is not news to anyone. What was true in 500 BCE with Confucius is still true today. Is this not the law of the playground? Yes, didn't we learn this when we were like 5? Keep your hands to yourself. That's not yours. So as our religions and the people in them practice this one simple concept, the governments which serve them or should be serving them could not help but reflect this value. And I'll tell you something else. I really feel like this must now be a conscious, rational interfaith initiative. An interfaith initiative that holds these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, I'm sure that religious freedoms, at this meeting in New York, that the religious freedoms that were not of concern. Let me try this again. I'm sure that the religious freedoms that were of concern at this week's New York meeting did not mean religious freedom for everyone. Jews, okay. Hindus, Buddhists, if we have to. Islamists, no way. And I'm sure there was no concern offered for the New Thought churches, if we came up at all. For New Thought tends to be that faith system that everyone believes in but has never heard about. So, I believe that it is New Thought, however, that holds the key out of this dilemma, as New Thought is one of those religions that has as a key tenet to see God in every religion. That every faith system has value in it because there's Godhead in it. That New Thought is an interfaith belief system at its core. And if this is not how you see it, then I would encourage you to think deeper on this, to see that it is in fact one of our deepest held, maybe unspoken tenets. We talk about oneness in kind of a broad, general way, but this is what oneness is. Respecting all people, regarding of race, creed, ethnicity, or whom they love. For when we say we see a worldwide culture in which forgiveness, whether for errors, injustices, or debts, is the norm, what we are saying is that what we are here for giving each other the benefit of the doubt to be seen as innocent before guilty. That we are forgiving each other the benefit of the doubt to be seen as innocent before guilty. In other words, getting our old stuff out of the way. So all faith systems believe in a transcendent power, call it what you will. And it is imperative that all of us contemplate what we know, each of us within our own faith systems, what we know this power to be and how it works in the world. And if we're going to take the time to contemplate that, why not contemplate the idea that it's infinite power, infinite intelligence, infinite self-knowingness, and what does that look like really? And not be afraid to think. It won't hurt. How to bring the power forward through is the act of forgiveness. For forgiveness calls us to step out of the current reality, to see a greater yet to be. Even if in the beginning we're doing it with our fingers and toes crossed. Right? The act itself, an act of contrition, if you will, is a very powerful movement in consciousness. So forgiveness calls for us to step out of a current reality to see a greater yet to be, and in time demonstrate a greater good. For forgiveness is the way to true freedom. So is it not true that all spiritual teachers have taught that we are to be one with this power, even while differing in methods of purification to approach the one, but to be one with the power while living this life is the ultimate goal of religion. So yeah, there might be a fire insurance component where we want to make sure we're in the happy place rather than the hot place. That may be part of our deal. Right? But if we're practicing our various religions in a conscious and mindful way, we don't have to sweat that angle anymore. Perhaps we must first purge that thinking that believes us to be separate to begin with. So if I know that I am one with the power, or at least I have the potential to be, how much more likely am I able to engage in, quote, moral behavior as a default setting rather than an impossible goal to achieve? So just for definition purposes, let's call moral behavior those behaviors tied to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Let's just keep it simple. What if I am that expressing on this human plane, simply awakening to a truth that is always present, all-knowing, all-powerful? If I see myself as whole, perfect, and complete, as satiated at the deepest levels of my psyche? Is there anything that I must do to you or take from you so that I can be whole? Think on that. If we see ourselves as whole, perfect, and complete, which means that we are satiated at the deepest levels of our psyche, we're wanting for nothing. Is there anything that I must do to you or take from you so that I can be okay? The answer is no. So perhaps what we need then is a new thought golden rule. The oneness of spirit that I know for myself, I now know for others. The oneness of spirit that I know for myself, I now know for others. So let's put our hand over our heart. The oneness of spirit that I know for myself, I now know for others. The oneness of spirit that I know for myself, I now know for I now know for others. The oneness of spirit that I know for myself, I now know for others. So Holmes says this, that we should never hesitate to say that we know the truth, because we do. For the realization of the unity of God and humankind is the truth. That we simply need a greater realization of this. And how are we to get it? Only by penetrating deeper and ever deeper into our own divine nature, pushing further and further back into the infinite. In fact, I would even say we are then drawn into it. Right? As we get our thinking right, as we get our heart right, as we open our heart, as we open our consciousness to that ineffable one, we are drawn to it. As deep calls unto deep. And in this way we can sense that there is diversity in unity, that we see that we are all important expressions of the Spirit creating, that we are all interdependent on each other, and we commit to seeing ways in which we connect rather than keep us divided. That we commit to the idea of practicing loving kindness with all beings at all times in everything we do. That today we claim this day to be Interdependence Day, recognizing the rights of all global citizens to live as one people, creating heaven here on earth. For as Jefferson said at the end of the Declaration of Independence, that and for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance and protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to ourselves, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. So, I would invite you, as an immigrant person, I love the United States, and I love the principles from which it was founded. It is a land of opportunity in many ways that seems somehow diminished. But it's not because of them. There's just a lot more of us. We're just trying to get more people in the tent. We just have to figure out how to do it is all. And I know that we have it within us. And that it is our divine opportunity to once again, in spite of our tarnished armor, right? And it has been tarnished in the recent years, that we can call forth that greatest yet to be, so that this United States of consciousness can practice loving kindness for all beings and be the way showers for all to embrace the entire human family in all of our wonderful and beautiful diversity in loving kindness. And so it is. So let's call the band forward. And I would just invite you today to consider the ways that we can practice interdependence right here, right now, in our own personal lives, how we can practice this knowing the truth within our families of origin, the families that we've created between our spouses, on the job site, and even within this election cycle yet to come. So let's just know that it's all unfolding with this transcendent power in, through, and as, and underneath all of it, longing to express itself. And let's have a song.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I can't change the world with my own two hands, make it a better place with my own two hands, make it a kind of place with my own two hands, with my own two hands, with my own two hands. Well, I can peace on earth with my own two hands, and I can clean up the earth with my own two hands, and I can reach out to you with my own two hands, with my own two hands, with my own two hands. Oh, I'm gonna make it a better place
with my hand.
I'm gonna make it a safer place
With my hand.
I'm gonna help the human race with my own two hands. I can hold you with my own two hands, and I can comfort you with my own two hands. But you've got to use your own two hands. Use your own two hands. Use your own two hands. With your own two hands. With your own two hands.
Yeah, let's give Ken some love. Got everybody else covered here this morning. Nice job, Kale. Nice to see you. Like the beard, man. You look good. Yeah, good. All right, so as we prepare our gifts for the offering, we'll use our own two hands to make that happen. So we call our ushers forward.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Just recognizing and knowing for a moment that the gifts presented here this morning are a demonstration of consciousness that knows and knows that it knows that God is our source, our substance, our supply. And so from the generous heart of the individual from which these gifts have been offered here this morning, we, representing the heart of this community, accept these gifts with deep appreciation, love, and respect, as we know together that they go forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless not only the vision and mission of this center, but any person connected to it, everyone here this morning, anyone connected to it in any way, that we know that this blessing includes our friends in this community of Granada Hills, of our city of Los Angeles, our state of California, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who attend them, the people who support them, our planet as well, that even now we know that there is a power and presence and intelligence that God is expressing in, through, and as all of it. And to the extent that we know this to be so, we see it demonstrating in all ways, great and small, and together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. So please help me thank our ushers this morning, Sweet Sue and lovely Rita. Yes, come on in, kids. Somebody went long today. I'm not sure who it was. I got caught up in my patriotic fervor. Oh, you caught the vibe. So who is our spokesperson today? All right, ma'am. So tell them who you are.
I'm Ben. And we tried to make Tibetan prayer wheels. Yeah, pinwheels. So it's like American pinwheel, prayer wheel.
Prayer wheel, nice.
And like he put happiness. Like it's supposed to be like good thoughts. So.
Cool. Thank you. Pretty cool specs you got there, too. All right. Thank you. Prayer wheels. Like it. Prayer pinwheels. All right. So I guess we're going to move on out of here. I'd just like to thank you all again. Thank you for joining us on this Independence Day weekend. Have fun tomorrow. And we'll see you next week. And I'll see our heroes, our bodhisattvas in the hero class. I'll see you on Thursday.
Oh, so as a practitioner circles the room, we circle in love. And the thought of interdependence. As we support each other in knowing the greater truth, we know that this experience that we have shared here today has given us a greater awareness of life is about us supporting each other. And we go forth with a willing consciousness and an awareness that we are one. And in that oneness comes the experience and a divine opportunity to reach out and touch someone in a more loving way. To recognize that each and every person is a divine expression of spirit itself. This is the greater truth that we take with us today. And it's with the consciousness of gratitude and acceptance we allow this to unfold and express. So together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is.
Please stand for the peace song. One, two, three, four, five, six. Yankee Doodle? Yankee Doodle. Yankee Doodle. I'll be Yankee Doodle. Do you want to just jam on break, or we can do that? Thank you for the stay, that 2-chord thing. I don't know. Who you guys want to go? Yankee Doodle. Yankee Doodle, okay. Why not? Yeah. I gotta get my pick. Thank you. Thank you. Not too often.
Pretty much never.
So exactly what we did, right? Okay. 1, 2. Oh, make sure. Okay. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4.